Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome to another gtaonline video here on the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new adversary mode, the Mansion Raid. So this is a new 4v4 PvP mode in gtaonline. Unlike the last couple of adversary modes, this one is on a much smaller scale because it's in a much smaller map. However, the objectives are pretty much the same as those modes. The two teams are attackers and defenders. The attackers have to plant 2 sets of explosives on various places inside the mansion, before then breaking into the vault and stealing the gold and bringing it back to the insurgent that's placed out in front of the mansion. And the defenders, of course, have to stop them from doing so. So it's kind of like Demolition from COD mixed with Capture the Flag if I had to compare it to something. To be quite honest with you, in auto-aim lobbies, I think this mode plays horribly. Because the moment someone gets a line of sight on you, you're pretty much dead because of the auto-aim. So there's not really a lot of gunfighting that takes place, but more so just a lot of getting insta-killed by being shot from somewhere you didn't even see the person from. And there's also some weird inconsistencies with the mansion itself when it comes to lock-on. For example, you can shoot through the windows of the mansion, but you can't lock on through the windows. So if you get into a place where you can lock onto a person but then go behind the window while you're still aiming, you'll keep the lock-on through the window and you can kill people that way. But sometimes it's kind of finicky and you just don't get a lock-on, so it feels off. It's kind of the issue with making the entire combat system in this game around the game aiming for you, but that's a topic for another video. But the same inconsistency goes for the spawn system. So when you respawn in this game mode, you have like 5 seconds of invincibility and invisibility to where your character is like a ghost to the enemies. It's like you're in passive mode. And during that time, you can't lock onto them and you can't kill them either, and neither can they kill you or lock onto you. So what happened to me a bunch of times is I'd spawn in right next to an enemy to where I would just follow them around until I could actually start shooting them. And it ends up with some horribly feeling spawn traps for both the person respawning and the enemy you're fighting. Because they might just appear next to you and you may not have seen them when they are almost invisible to you. The spawns are really just not good at all. And the problem is made much worse in auto-aim lobbies. This mode operates on a respawn wave for the defenders so that if the attackers eliminate the defenders, then they will actually have enough time to complete the objectives before they can respawn. It's there to give them some breathing room, and also so that the defenders aren't just infinitely staggered and they can respawn together for a team fight again. I think the max redeployment time is like 20 seconds if you end up dying right after a respawn wave happens. However, I actually think the respawn delay is a tad bit too long, because you don't actually have enough time to try and go for a defuse if you end up dying, because the respawn wave takes that long. And the bomb timer is also really short, especially if you consider that you have to do a little minigame to defuse the bombs. So if you die and then they go plant the bomb, you really are not going to have enough time to go for a defuse at all. I guess it's sort of balanced out by the fact that the attackers only get 10 lives per objective set though. But I think maybe extending the bomb fuse timer a little bit and in exchange giving the attackers more lives or more time would be a decent trade-off, so the matches have a bit more of a back and forth to them when fighting for the objectives, as opposed to just getting one team wipe on the defenders and that's going to be enough time to plant and destroy the bomb sites, or at least that initial set of bomb sites. The last part of the mode is when you have to go down into the vault and steal the gold and then bring it all the way back to an insurgent that's parked out front. I don't really have a huge issue with this part as far as getting down to the vault. You don't just have to go through the single file staircase to get there. You can actually go through the door outside at the back of the mansion, which will take you down to the bottom floor. You can go through the garage door, which will take you to the garage, to where you can go down the stairs in the garage to be at the vault floor. So there's many ways of getting downstairs to the vault. The problem comes in when you have the gold. When you're carrying the gold, you can't run or roll, so you are extremely vulnerable. And the most important thing to note here is that when you are carrying the gold, you can't use the elevator or the garage door, meaning the only way that you can go to capture it is through that small single file staircase which only has one way out that the defenders can easily camp. So it's expected that your team makes some super good flank plays to clear the path forward, but I think it would be more interesting if you could unlock some other escape routes so that it's not just you taking the same path every single time. Or even having to escape with the insurgent. Maybe they put a cargo bob with an open cargo door on the roof, where it's not just an instant capture because it's still in enemy territory, unlike the insurgent would be. So you have to sit in the capture zone next to the cargo bomb while you secure it, and a bar would slowly fill or something to initiate the progress. That way you would have the option as the gold carrier to go to the rooftop to extract, or you can go to the insurgent out front. So it's not just super predictable where you're going to go to capture it for the enemy team. It would kind of keep the enemies on their toes a bit, not being able to just camp alongside the same path every single time because they know exactly where the gold has to be transported to. In free aim lobbies, this mode does play a whole lot better because you aren't just insta-killed by a headshot the moment someone sees you. And you can kind of play it like you're playing Rainbow Six Siege or something where you can hold an angle in the bomb room and wait for the enemies to come in and just have a gunfight at that point. You don't just instantly lose to people holding cover and popping out to insta-kill you across like you would in auto aim. It just prevents hardcore camping and makes the gunfights a whole lot more enjoyable to me. Spawn trapping is also less of an issue in free aim because it's not just an insta-kill the moment someone stops being a ghost in front of you. In terms of the mode's balance, I actually do think the attackers have the advantage, assuming the teams are evenly matched in both skill and numbers, which we'll get into in a second. The attackers can very easily play the map in a way that lets them have both of the objectives done very quickly. On the attacker side, instead of running through the front gate where you will likely get killed instantly, you want to hop on the bushes here and go along the left side of the mansion where there is a nice lane of cover for you. Then you come out on the left side of the mansion above the stairs, grab the assault rifle, and now you have easy access to the back of the mansion where you have already likely flanked the enemy here, and you can just plant the explosives. Then once you destroy the first set of bombs, you simply hop down a level from the outside, and now you're right at where the next bomb site is. Instead of having to go through the interior of the building, you can just hop right down a level. I do wonder if they should have maybe put these bomb sites in a different place, maybe more in the interior of the mansion so you don't have such easy access from just being on the outside area here. Maybe if they put one in the arcade room or the home theater, that would have been better, although maybe not because those places do only have one entrance, so they would also be easily camped. But this is also why I said that I think the bomb should have longer fuses so that one team wipe doesn't cost you the entire objective set, and the attackers can then play defense while they're waiting for the bomb timers to go down. Once both sets of bombs are destroyed though, now we wait at this door right here for the blue circle to appear, where it will teleport you to the basement. And now you're just one staircase away from the vault. Now, if you don't want to go down that staircase that I just went down, you could also head to the garage and go down the stairs in the garage and come to the vaults from the garage door level instead. It would take longer, but it might be worth it to flank depending on where the enemies are. When I have the gold, what I like to do is go to the garage and head up one level because that will throw off the enemies that are camping the single staircase. And from here, you only have one single file staircase to go up. So we take out any enemies along the way and make our way up to each set of stairs and out the front door, to where I unfortunately got killed here because I can't roll, but we end up winning the round anyway, so it doesn't matter. As a defender, it's pretty much about predicting the enemy spawns. They're going to spawn near the front gates every time when the round starts, and it's usually a back and forth style of spawning here, so if you kill them at the front, they will likely spawn at the back of the mansion, and if you kill them at the back, they will spawn at the front gate again. So you can kind of exploit that and wait for them at their next spawn point. Although if they really know what they're doing, they won't just keep trying to come to this front gate every single time. They'll try my flank route. And then for the gold parts for defense, if they really get that far, it's just about camping that staircase and maybe making some flanks through the same doors you use to get down there as defenders. Overall, the mode is just alright. It doesn't really have the cool elements that the bigger modes have, like the attack on ATT-16, which I still think is the best mode they've made. It's just the smaller scale mode using the mansion interior, and that's about it. I think the biggest problem that this mode has is just the matchmaking and the player base itself. I'm a YouTuber, so I filled the lobby of this very easily while I was streaming with my viewers. We easily had a group of competent players, so it was even 4v4 all the time. But I also tried playing this with randoms in both free aim and auto aim. Free aim, I can hardly find a lobby of this game mode to begin with. I think I maybe found one match with like half of a lobby. And as for auto aim, I did find full lobbies quite easily, although trying to find out how to even matchmake for this mode was annoying to begin with and super unclear. You essentially have to quick job for an adversary mode, which is locked away through 3 menus in the phone. If I started it from the pause menu, it always make me the host, and the only other option would be going to the main menu to then click on it from there, which also worked. But I think this is a large part of why modes like this aren't played very often. Not the only reason, of course, but one of the reasons. Is just the matchmaking is absolutely horrible for them, and just in general in GTA Online. But then whenever I had a full lobby, it would never end with a full lobby. There would always be people leaving the match, which would leave the enemy team with like 2 players, or it would be like a 3-on-2, a 2-on-2, anything but a 4v4 by the end of it. And if one person leaves this game mode, that's already going to have a huge effect on the entire game because of how the respawn system works. So it just leaves you with extremely unbalanced matches that don't end up being very fun at all. With larger scale modes, if a couple people leave, you don't really notice it as much because you go from like a 15v15, for example, to like a 13v15. Which is not a massive deal at all, but when 2 people leave this mode, especially from one team, that's just GG. You're just not winning that. And the payment for the mode, if you win, you're looking at like $60,000. That's with double money, and only the winners get that much money. If you lose, you're hardly getting anything. I know this shouldn't be how you view a mode like this. You should play it for fun. But the fact is, people are going to play things in this game that only make them money. And so this is going to have the same problem that all of the game modes have, where no one plays them after the double money ends, because $25,000 for a 2-round mode that lasts probably like 10 minutes, and that's only if you win, is nothing short of abysmal compared to anything else in this game. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the new Mansion Raid mode. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Have you enjoyed it, or do you think it's bad? If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like, as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.